All right, here we go. Here is the IPA that I started brewing on. I think January 30th was the brew date. It's now March 25th. It's been bottle conditioned for 2 weeks now. Carbonation is finally there, and I've got to taste a little bit. Actually, kind of pleased with everything. Despite the first taste that I've had with it, it was a little bit of a disappointment, but it's pretty good. It's got a nice little head to it. It's got decent head retention. The color is a little cloudy. It's not as clear as I would have liked. You never want to pour the whole thing there because you're going to have some unavoidable dead yeast at the bottom. You can drink that apparently. It's good to avoid hangovers, but here's the beer looking pretty gnarly. As you see, it's it's cloudy. It's not exactly clear. The reason why it's so cloudy is because one of the malts that I used, a biscuit malt, which is just something that uh, roasted barley. Um, it is apparently only to be used in all grain brewing. It's not supposed to be steeped because when it's steeped, it can leave behind unfermentable starches, and those starches can actually impart and leave behind an undesirable smell, which this beer has. Now, I mean, initially when you smell it, it's got a very nice citrusy, hoppy smell, which is in large part due to the dry hopping that I did with the Centennial. But when it warms up a little bit and the head starts to subside, it has a little bit of an unpleasant, grainy smell to it. It's very unique. It's kind of hard to describe. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world. But apparently, as this beer ages, it's going to finally go away, and then just what you have initially and what you taste initially is going to still remain the same. It doesn't affect the taste at all. It's just not a very pleasant smell when it does warm up a little bit. But it's very good. I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely some mistakes that I had made. The bittering that I had done with this beer, I had no idea that when you first add hops, it's really just for bittering and not for flavoring and aroma. And that's pretty much most of the hopping that I did was at the beginning of the boil. So the bitterness is there, but not a lot of flavor. And I didn't really use a lot of diverse malt in this. There was only biscuit malt and crystal malt in addition to the dry malt extract. So as a result, it's not very complex in terms of flavors. Um, I used a pretty old recipe from The Joy of Homebrewing by Charlie Papasan. So, I mean, it was really a book that was done in the early stages of home brewing, and it really doesn't have a lot in terms of the flavor. But, I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy with the way things turned out. My brown ale just got bottled on Saturday, so that's going to be ready hopefully this weekend. Get to test that out. Really happy with that so far. It was supposed to be an Indian Brown Ale clone. Not really anything like the Dogfish. It's more of a traditional English Brown Ale, but it's still very good. I'm still very happy with it. And we'll go into that one when I get it. But here's a look at the beer. Uh, it tastes good, definitely drinkable. Hopefully some of you bros will get to try it out here. But just want to make a video blog and wrap up the first batch.